you are acting independently in this committee. Yes, from the first report that was submitted, what really were the findings?
Okay, the very first report was focused on the two cases, the Bobrisky case and then the Kuje case. With the Bobrisky case, we took our time to not just take what was flying on the media. We visited the various sites, facilities where he was sentenced to. The very first was Ikoyi Correctional Facility, and then the second, he was moved from there to Kirikiri Medium, and from Kirikiri Medium to Kirikiri Maximum. We interfaced with the inmates, the staff, and we also did some forensics analysis on where he stayed and all of that. We made the report available. There was no evidence that he did not spend his jail term in the correctional facility as claimed or as alleged. But we also found that there were some sort of privileged treatments which we know that they are not things that are not common in the system for now. Some of those privileged treatments were that we found that he used phone when he was there, and then he also had a room that is not in the general room, which happens in some places. Some correctional facilities have isolations for certain cases. Some of them could be as a result of health challenge or special presentation. And one of those special presentations from what we saw is he came up with the features of a woman, which will be, say, high-risk client. You can't throw him where you have all other men. So those are some of the things we found. But the key claim about whether he spent his sentence within the correctional service or not, that we couldn't find any evidence.
What are those privileged treatments? You talked about
I
privilege.
just mentioned them. I talked about him having phone, which is not supposed to be. I talked about him having a room. The room I would not say is not supposed to be, because there are isolation. There are rooms that are meant for isolation for special cases. And I did say that some of those special cases could be either as a result of health challenge or as a result of the kind of presentation we saw. He came with the presentation of features of a woman. And then you know what it means to put him in the
Under
same.
whose authority was he put in the special room?
There are levels of control on what happens in the correctional service. There are the zonal controller, the state controller, the in charge. The decision processes originate from the in charge, who is directly responsible for the facility, to the state controller, to the zonal controller, and to the headquarters. All of that we found, and then we tried to look at what could have influenced that, even though that decision is right, because he needs to be protected. Because the responsibility of the correctional service is to take and keep in safe custody and then return to court when the court demands. So if you take somebody who have a breast, for example, and put where you have men who have not, who don't even have conjugal visit and have been in there for about 6, 7, 8 years, what you may see at the end of the day may be something that will not be good for either the inmates or for that particular one. I think they should even be appreciated for taking that decision.